Welcome to another episode of the Me in the Making podcast. I'm your host, Meli Clay, and thanks for joining me. This is a show about introspection, self reflection. It's about learning more about yourself and learning more about the world around you and how those things might affect you, and just learning more, about how you can tap in with your community, learning more about different routines, etc. We're going to be talking about a lot of things on this podcast, and this is season 3. We do have video and audio, so you can check us out on YouTube if you are looking to watch the video. The link is in the show notes, and if you want to listen to audio, you can listen, well, where you're listening now, where you hear this, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, Pocket Casts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, that's where you can find me. And season 3 is audio or video, like I was saying before, and we have seasons 1 and 2 on the audio feeds if you are looking to tap into those episodes that were released previously. And I was talking to guests. I had friends and family on, people who were wanting to explore more about themselves. I was asking them about who they were when they were younger, who they are now, and kind of what's been their journey to get to where they are now. We were talking about who they're becoming, what are some future plans that they see for themselves, or hopes and dreams that they are seeking. So if you're interested in hearing those, you can definitely go back on the same feed in your podcast app and listen to those. And let me know if you have any thoughts on it, questions, if you want to be a guest on the show, because I will also be having guests in season 3. But I'll also have these individual episodes where I'm talking to you about things that I've been learning about myself and contemplating and doing. And I talk to you all about it. So definitely comment, leave a comment, share with your friends, subscribe if you want to leave a 5-star review in your podcast app. That would help this show greatly, and I would really appreciate it. So today I'm talking about things that I learned from doing a 30-day learning challenge. So if you have been following along, if you are a subscriber on YouTube or maybe on my TikTok, you've been, or even Facebook, you've been seeing me post these videos where I'm talking about today I learned and different things that I've been learning every day. It was a challenge that I made for myself in order to continue to learn about things in the world, to not kind of be insular, but just be curious about things that are going on in the world. And I decided to do 30 days to build that routine and to build that muscle of, okay, I'm listening and learning and being cognizant of the things that are going in. And also, I wanted to basically make myself make content to put on these social media apps. And I've talked about this in a previous episode about how social media can be overwhelming. And this was another opportunity for me to kind of figure out what is my relationship with social media going to be in this capacity where I'm creating my podcast and creating a lane for where I'm going to be. So, being dedicated to this process of creating videos, posting them on multiple different platforms, thinking about what it is I'm going to say, and also internalizing the things that I've been learning has been a really fun process, I'll say. Overall, it was a lot of fun process. I had people who were suggesting things to me that they had learned, and that was really cool. Like they would text me or maybe reach out on comment on one of the videos and saying like, "Oh, I learned this too," or maybe they would elaborate on the things that I had posted and give me more information. And so that was really cool to look into because of course, so some of the things that I was saying I had been learning were tidbits around animals, They were around like some news tidbits that were going on, like the Target CEO stepping down and Chobani Yogurt, there being a class action lawsuit against Chobani Yogurt because of their packaging, misleading advertisement around there. And also just some personal things like I'm going through this single women group therapy session that I'll talk to you all about in another episode. And I was just giving some information on things that I've been learning along the way and some things that have been eye-opening to me. So that was really cool. Like basically building a little community of people who are also concerned about learning more things and being curious. Like that's really the main thing for me with doing this challenge was for me to intentionally be curious about myself and about the world around me. So that was a lot of fun to do. I will say that 30 days is a long time. When I decided on 30 days, I was like, you know what? I feel like that's a good sweet spot. Like I wanted it to be longer than 2 weeks or like 15 days. And I was like 30 days, about a month's time. And I was also aligning it with when the Chicago Public Schools went back to school. So it's like they're going back to learn things. I'll go back to learn things. So I was thinking 30 days, that's like a good amount of time to get comfortable with doing this type of challenge. And I feel like I have a piece of hair on my lip. My apologies. I felt like it was going to be a fun time uh to to do it even though 30 days. So I was maybe on day 5 or day 6 and I was like, wow, I still have 25 more days to do this. And it's kind of a long time when you break it down week by week. Like, okay, this is over 4 weeks of doing this. But I found value in that because it's like, okay, I'm building this muscle, I'm building this routine with posting every day. And they tell you on the social media apps that one of the best ways to kind of grow your platform is to post consistently. So I was challenging myself to post consistently on multiple platforms and engage in social media. Of course, social media is like a whole different life. It's apart from your real life, but it still affects your real life. And the people who were out there engaging with my video, I wanted to engage with them as well. So people would post comments and likes and everything. So that was nice to be able to connect with those people. And I was able to gain over 100 followers on TikTok. So just seeing that the fruits of my labor play out with people who decided to start following me and just kind of like go from that. And I was noticing that they would comment on other videos that I had been posting. So it was nice. It was a rewarding way to see that, okay, me doing this consistently for 30 days is good because I'm building my platform. I'm understanding how to post consistently, make that time in my day to record a video and to post it on TikTok and on Instagram, and to really be cognizant of, okay, I have to get this done because I made this commitment to myself. And because I am posting it online, that's another point of accountability because maybe people are wondering, like, oh, Melissa didn't post today, or, oh, she didn't post yesterday either. Like, I wonder what's going on with that challenge. I have some digital accountability partners to help me to make sure that I continue to post because that's what I said that I was going to do. I set out with this plan and this goal, and I was able to reach it. So that was also rewarding as well. Um, and I would say that, this learning challenge, it wasn't, oh, I'm gonna learn physics or I'm gonna learn engineering or something like that. Like it wasn't going to be that in depth. because I wanted to have fun with it, and to engage people. And I think like with these episodes right now, I can dig into more of that, like having a longer form video of maybe something a little bit more complex that I've been learning versus, these shorter videos that I wanted to be able to churn out because I didn't want the goal to be too insurmountable that I would not be able to reach the goal. So if it were something like, okay, I want to learn this complicated algebraic formula or something like that, I was gonna set myself up for failure, basically. So I wanted it to be whatever I might have come across that I found interesting or something that I could apply to my life or talk to my friends about. That was the goal for me to do that because I wanted to be able to reach the goal. So sometimes that's good to do for yourself, like setting a goal that is going to be attainable but not too easy. But of course, something where you're stretching yourself a bit, but not making it too difficult. Because then it's hard to come back from like, man, I had that goal, but I didn't reach it. Kind of like when I was talking about with 75 hard. And of course, people will not reach that full 75 days. Maybe they forget to do something and so they have to start over, or maybe they have to stop in the middle for whatever reason. And I still think with that, like even attempting 75 hard I would congratulate anyone for doing that, even if you lasted a few days, because there's so many things on that list to check off with 75 hard. But with this 30-day learning challenge, it was one thing to check off. So it was something that I was determined to show up for myself in that way, to fulfill that promise to myself and to do that. So now on the other side of this 30-day learning challenge, posting every day. Now, my brain is a little bit more attuned to thinking about, oh, what do I want to say? What do I want to post? Because I am still striving to post something on these social media apps every day and to connect with people online every day, even though it can be overwhelming at times. I think something for me, it's like, acknowledging that it's overwhelming. Sometimes doing that will help me to then be able to tackle that overwhelming thing. Like being aware that it's overwhelming, admitting that to myself and saying, like having a little bit of humility, like, all right, I'm tired or this feels like a lot. And sometimes acknowledging that, just putting that out there for myself helps me to understand the like what I need to do in order to break it down and to complete that task. So I would say like, on day 5 and 6, and I was like, 30 days is a lot. Acknowledging that to myself, like, okay, I know that I have 25 more days to do this, but I'm simply going to break it down bit by bit, little by little, and just focus on tomorrow. Okay. Now tomorrow is today. Now I'm thinking about, what do I want to learn? What am I listening to? What information have I been taking in? And then will I be able to explain this to people of something that I've learned and translating it into my own words? And yeah, I was able to do that. And so I found that to be rewarding to, make the time to do it, but also understanding that I have the rest of my life to attend to as well. So I didn't want to set myself up for failure with making the goal be too difficult, but I still wanted it to stretch myself and to learn things from the learning challenge. So I would say the main things that I learned is learning that it's not too overwhelming for me to post something every day. And just confronting that fact, like, gosh, that's a lot. I know people say you're supposed to post consistently. And then when I started to do it, realizing, okay, it does take time out of my day. I'm acknowledging that, but I know that it's not. that hard. And so just with knowing that I have the information, I have the data basically of, okay, Melissa, you are posting every day for 30 days. Like if you continue in that mode, in that routine, then continuing to do it is not going to be that hard. And something else that I learned from doing the 30-day learning challenge was basically being okay with putting myself out there, like being vulnerable, admitting some things that I did not know, and just like, who cares almost, I'm being honest with who I am, sometimes being vulnerable with who I am. Of course, keeping some things, private for myself, because not everything needs to be out here on the internet. But I think in general, it's like, okay, that's fine if someone thinks that I'm silly because I didn't know a certain thing or didn't realize something, say about like the music industry or whatever. But who cares if I didn't know? Now I know, and now I'm sharing it with the class. So it's kind of something where I'm learning to build a thick skin when it comes to social media because at the end of the day, this isn't saying anything about my self-worth. It's what I'm choosing to do to put myself out there. It's an exercise that I'm choosing to work on and flex that really it's been beneficial for me. Even if no one else interacted with my videos, even if no one else resonated with some of the things that I had been learning, it's still something that I was doing for myself. I was still showing up, learning something from myself, building the routine of posting every day, continuing to be intentionally curious about things. That was for myself. And the added benefit was that people were engaging and people were excited to know what I was about to post the next day. They're like, oh, this is a really fun tidbit. Like, this is a great challenge. I can't wait to see the next thing that you post. And it was a fun and rewarding time. So, if you have a 30-day challenge that you want to um, do for yourself, let me know in the comments. If it's something that you've done in the past, let me know and, let me know some of the things that you learned about it. And do you continue doing that thing that you had done for those 30 days? Like what's been the outcome? And now I want to move into my next segment, and it is called Pod Corner. So this is a segment where I recommend podcasts to you all because I really enjoy listening to them. I get a lot out of them, whether it's news, whether it's comedy, so I can laugh, whether it's something about pop culture or culture in general, maybe about movies, music, etc. It runs, it could be really about anything, and I'll listen to it. Well, that's not true. Not about anything, but the topics could be wide ranging. And this podcast that I would like to recommend to you all is called Today Explained. And it is a news podcast where essentially they're explaining what happened that day. So they might focus on one thing in particular and connect that to the rest of what's going on in this country, in the world, things that really, I mean, there's so much news to report on lately. Like the most news I feel like that we could ever have is happening right now. So that show will talk to different experts, talk to journalists about things that are going on and break things down, try to explain to us what is going on. So the podcast is called Today Explained. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts, and they're usually about 30-minute episodes, so it's not a big time commitment, and you can learn something new. And thank you all for listening to this episode. Please let your friends know about it, share on social media, and let me know your thoughts. This has been another episode of the Me in the Making podcast. Please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Tell a friend, tell a family member. We all deserve to grow and change and become our best selves, whatever that might look like to you. And please connect on Instagram at Making Me Pod on TikTok. You can email me at meli@makingmepod.com. I would love to hear from you. Let me know if you want to be a guest on the show. And yeah, I'm just having such a great time. I'm so happy to have been able to launch this video episode for you all, and come again. Bye.